And welcome back to the April monthly cup for the Trackmania World Tour, where we are getting ready to jump into our first match of the round of 64. How many players did we say we had in time attack? 120 plus?
180-ish,
180,
179.
significantly more. We've gotten rid of 2/3 of them. Who cares? They're gone. We're down to 64 of them already, which means, yeah, with 180 players starting, I mean, you'd assume for the most part 180 players who thought they at least had a chance of making that 64, which means this is a 64 that is going to be pretty stacked. It's going to be interesting as we jump into it. Again, this is the Blue Jay stream. We're looking to follow Boz and Epos. Epos in a pretty exciting match, going to be playing up against Melio, Henkin, and Hyoim, but I think Melio and Epos probably the two players we expect to get out of this match. And then Boz up against Richie, Wosile, and Nicsoby. That's a tough match, being honest. Richie sitting in the top 5 of most of the online leaderboards at the moment. While we agree they're maybe not entirely accurate to what the pace may actually be from players who've been practicing offline, Richie's still quick, and Wosile also quick. Boz also potentially quick.
Also, all quick. Definitely quick players. Yeah, it should be a pretty exciting match to get into and watch.
Yeah, we are confirming which match we are going to be joining here. I see there's some discussion in Twitch chat at the moment about which player we should be spectating. But we'll figure it out as we jump on into it. We will be joining the match with Balls in it, just to see how things go over there. I'm excited to see the pace in this match in particular. Partly, I am just interested to see Richie, who we saw do very well in Beacon. A player who's been on the rise recently and is doing very well, as said, on those online times. But is Richie a player who has the pace to actually match up at the top of the tournament today? Is something that I'm looking forward to seeing actually happen. There's your map order. Lift off into Halfwood, into Sublimation, into Cadence, into Castle.
No. Castle into Sublimation,
you're
into
right.
Liftoff, into Halfwood, into Castle.
I got baited by the list order. I'm a fool. Everyone ignore what I said. Someone just go back and take a look at it.
Can someone go back and get a screenshot? I didn't screenshot quick enough.
That's fine. We'll figure it out as we actually load in.
The nice thing is it'll say in the top left, Noah, don't tell anyone. It says it in the top left.
Oh, that's great. There's also the best times. I like that. That's pretty handy.
Yeah.
And the champion medal for some reason.
Yeah.
Hey, it's just pretty.
Yeah. It is a nice medal.
Oh, let's just assume that that's there because our producer Padster has actually driven the champion medal on this map.
Yeah, he has. Production Paddy. Production Paddy.
I'm hearing Padster's confirming. He's confirming he has driven the champion medal on this map.
Yeah, he is that good. Like, there's a reason that these players have been offered are playing. It's because Paddy isn't. And if Paddy was playing, he would so obviously win. That's why everyone was like, "Oh my god, he hasn't signed up. We need to jump on this to not,
exactly. That was why we had 180 players, is because people hadn't been practicing, but then they realized Padster wasn't playing, and so everyone was like, "Well, maybe I've got a chance now."
Exactly.
Hey,
so
round 1,
we're
kicking off.
Here we go.
As we'll see how things go here. The point breakdown, it is cup mode. We're going to a 100-point limit. 10 for first place, 6 for second place, 4 for third, and then 3 points for fourth place. Richie off to a decent start here. Wosile sitting just alongside Boz at the moment. Nicsoby a long way back from the top 3, but Richie's looking good.
Richie has certainly gotten off to a good start on the first round of this map. Castle. Some interesting difference in lines I noticed right at the start there. Boz seems to have him more inside at one section, so maybe that's something he's been hiding and doesn't want to let anyone know about. Or the other players just got the line wrong. But yeah, Richie leads us into the tight dirt section before the ice slide at the end as Boz goes to the overtake on Wosile. Who will come out of the ice slide first? Boz is there just a bit, so he's going to lose some speed. And oh, no, just misses out to Wosile.
Just about, though. Boz made a push at the end there. It was a little bit slower through the first half of the map, but on that late dirt section, I think it was the push. It's a very bumpy dirt section through that zigzag, and Boz pushing as hard as he did just slightly compromised him on the entry into the ice, allowing Wosile to continue on through. But that's a solid first round. 58-4 then for Richie to kick things off. Richie not that close to current PB on the map anyway. The 57.8 is a PB for Richie. Current world records sits with Stoots online at 57.7. So expecting those times probably to drop a little bit over the course of the next few rounds.
And Boz made an early mistake there, but he was afforded a chance back into the round from last place by Nicsoby, who also has got himself off to not the best start with a couple of mistakes, as Richie has to... Did he click? I'm not entirely sure what happened there for Richie, but Wosile will be like, thank you very much. Everyone's made a mistake. I'll take my lead.
Yeah, he's going a little bit slower than Richie, though. He's recovered speed very well, pushing aggressively on the outside of the dirt there and into this bumpy dirt and then the ice. There definitely is still the chance for the snipe. Wosile close to the edge. Richie, I think, is going through. He has speed entering the ice. They're neck and neck. They are inside each other, matching lines. But it's Richie who comes out on top as Wosile just about got close. I don't think he quite dropped the gear, but he could not hold the speed. And Richie takes the second round.
I think Wosile had almost like a slide out that he had to catch and caught quite nicely to not crash. But yeah, Boz made another mistake there, unfortunately, later on in the round while we were watching that battle up front and dropped back into fourth. So not the best start for him, but I trust him. I believe in him.
Yeah. Full faith. Even if he's learning the maps as he goes, he'll figure it out. He's got the time. Unfortunately, only 4 rounds per map. Means that it will take a little while before he can figure it out, and then we'll probably be leaving the map behind. But this time around, better start. He is sitting just behind Richie, just in front of Wosile as well. And we've seen Boz has pace at the end of the map as well. So as long as he can stay in touch through this first section, should be feeling all right. And that looks pretty good. He's got a decent line exiting the plastic. Not having to steer as much as Richie through the end of it there. Has continued to gain a little bit of time back.
As we once again go into the tight dirt section before the ice slide at the end, Boz goes more outside, should be able to carry more speed through, but almost hits the wall, and now the ice slide is going to decide all as Richie is fighting back to Boz. Boz gets a nicer exit. I don't know where Richie is. Boz wins.
He's a 10th and a half behind. That was very clean from Boz towards the end. That's actually the fastest time that we've seen from anyone yet on the server, which means Boz starting to heat up a little bit. He has one more round to try and get as many points as he can before we move to another map and we start the cycle all over again. Yeah,
absolutely. And you know, this maybe just a case of easing yourself into it for Boz and just kind of slowly but surely ramping up as you go today. Maybe, like you mentioned earlier, getting yourself back into that that rounds mindset after the TA seeding. But unfortunately for Nicsoby, he's made a couple mistakes on this map so
say
far.
His name again?
Nicsoby,
yeah. Famously of, I believe, Family Matters was the show.
I don't know how to pronounce, okay?
I mean, I do think that the S is in front of the O, and so I'm going to say Nicsoby, who is currently coming up behind Bozbez, and they are fighting it out for 3rd and 4th place as Richie and Wosile is neck and neck front. Richie, though, more speed into this section. Wosile sets up very inside. Richie then a better lineup for the end here, and I think that has cost Wosile in a couple of rounds now, that inside setup into that final section, but it has allowed him a very clean line onto the ice. It'll be close, but Richie carries the speed, and Richie zooms through into first place, picking up 3 wins from 4 and 36 points out of a possible 40 on map 1.
Yeah, really, really strong start from Richie, which we probably expected looking at his PBs and his preparation for this and where he's seated. Like he's seated in the top 10. I can't quite remember looking at this. I know Boz seated 30th. But that's yeah, that's a very strong start from for sure.
Looking pretty good. Anyways, we move on to Sublimation now. This map we did just play in Time Attack as well, so in terms of a map to allow you to warm up more into that kind of rounds format as well while you're still feeling maybe comfortable on it, not a bad one. But I suppose there's maybe a question of like, is the Time Attack brain just more enhanced by the fact you're going back to a map that you just played on Time Attack, or do you just have that comfort level increased? That'll go for all 4 players as well, and I guess we'll see who it works out for, who it doesn't. It is a pretty similar start, but until we get to these first big ice sections, you'd expect it to be pretty even between the players.
Yeah, absolutely. There is some different lines in the start is what I noticed there watching the start of the round. I know there's a go wide line and a go inside line for that grass right at the start, as Wosile has unfortunately speech bubbled himself. That'll be a gif at some point in the near future as he drops back behind Nicsoby, who made a mistake earlier in the round as Boz clips on the arrows on the ice slide and then slides out. Can he save it? Yeah.
Well,
kind of. he got this. He saved it. Of course, you don't want to DNF. Oh, what is going on?
Ice problems. Nicsoby, I think it's better if he touches the wall again. Oh, Richie gets away with it. He'll win the round. It's not quick, but Nicsoby takes the second place and Boz. It was unfortunate. I think it was clipping the sign and then on the reset realizing that there was really no way to get the car as tight as he needed to avoid the sign without losing the gear, which is what ultimately ended up happening. Fourth place for Boz in that first round as Richie continues to kind of start to run away with this match.
Yeah, absolutely. Apart from whatever that ending was just there, that was wild as Boz has dropped back at the start again. And we get to see Wosile and Richie, and now Boz is back. Oh, this map. The start of this map is one of the starts. It seems like everyone's close, and then they're not close, and then they're close again, and then they're not close. So, yeah, 2 races going on here, 2 1v1s for sure between Wosile and Richie up top, and then Boz and Nicsoby at the back. As Wosile goes really inside, and Boz clips that arrow again. He is not enjoying those arrows there. As Richie once again, barring another incident of whatever happened last round, should take first as Wosile's made a mistake and everyone's slid out.
Yeah, Nicsoby's made a mistake. Boz will come back. He'll take a 3rd place in this round. And with the point repartition set up the way it is, 10 points for first, and then it drops off very steeply to the 6, 4, and 3. Richie winning so many rounds is keeping the rest of this match very, very close. It's only 5 points at the moment between Boz and Wosile. And of course, 2 players will get out of this match. So Richie, I think, is looking very good to be the first seed coming out of this match. But the fight for 2nd place is still very much up in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. And realistically, you kind of want to keep going, right? Get through this first round. Don't eliminate yourself in the first round. Get through it and just keep going. And just if you can keep picking up seconds all day, you're gonna walk out of here with €300 and a boatload of World Tour points. If you keep picking up seconds all day, you know what I mean?
Literally all seconds. That'd be a great run.
All seconds. That would be an unbelievable run. I'd love to see the stats behind a run like that where you just pick up all seconds. But this is better from Boz. He hasn't, he stayed well clear of those arrows in that round there, and should, barring incidents we've already seen, be able to pick up a. Oh my God! Why did I curse him?
He's okay. It's a large gap. It's a large gap. It's another first place for Richie as Boz picks up a 2nd this time around. He did nearly miss the finish there, maybe worth noting, and allowed Wosile to get very, very close, with close being about 8/10, but that's close based on the rounds we've seen on this map.
Absolutely, yeah. And Richie, this started.
That's a good time. Like 56.5 in that last round is actually quick.
He is the current world record holder, unless it's been beaten in a different match that's been played since we just started. I'll update the world records as we go on through the matches.
I don't
very
believe
hard
it has
to track.
And
but Richie started really, really well. He's only picked up 1 second place and the rest first, which is seriously impressive. As into the last round on Sublimation we are here, as Boz and Wosile are scrapping for that 2nd and 3rd spot. As into the ice slide that Boz had so much trouble with before, can he steer clear of those little signs? He can.
Much better.
Loses some speed on the loses some speed on the exit though, and barring a mistake from the guys in front of him, will probably find himself in 3rd place. But it is the end of this map. There is an ice 360 to navigate as everyone navigates it.
Wow!
Congratulations,
good job, players. Ooh,
well
and a 56.4 from Richie as well.
Yeah.
Richie looked great. Again, 56.4 is incredibly respectable on Sublimation. Boz, the 2nd place would have been very nice there, would have closed the gap to a single point to Wosile, but we're back at the 5-point gap between the two of them. They're feeling okay about that. Nicsoby still kind of within touching distance, but I think that is just more of a function of the fact that 4th place still picks you up 3 points, which is not far behind 3rd place. He's been struggling to get out of that 4th place spot in this match.
Yeah, he struggled a bit on Sublimation there, but he struggled on the first map as well. Maybe he'll grow into the match, hopefully, as it comes, and start catching up and playing. Oh, that's a line. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that little triangle CP?
I saw that.
Triangle CP. I saw the little triangle CP. Watching. Who was it? Imagine that it's Nicsoby with the secret line.
Nick Cosby with the secret line.
It is.
It is Nicsoby with the secret line. Nicsoby. Yep.
Nicsoby. Sorry, my apologies, Nicsoby. I really am sorry.
I think it is. I also don't think it looks particularly quicker than the line that the others are driving, but it looks cool as hell, and so that's totally fine. This
what we're
map
here for.
all about minimizing your airtime, I think, on a lot of these jumps, as so many maps with a little bit of airtime are. You know, those couple of thousandths that you spend less in the air will translate into bigger distances between the cars as time goes on. And that's a great jump by Boz. He overtakes Richie, as Richie with a little bit of a clip and a mistake, and he's gained largely on Wosile as well. It's another good jump from Boz. He's doing a great job of gaining through the back half of the map here, but he is running out of track to actually finish this comeback half on. Quarter pipe jump will be big. It's good from both of them. Boz maybe a little bit lower, heading to the finish, and I think Wosile's done enough. Will pick up first place. Boz in second.
Yeah, yeah. And once again, Boz, just drove his time and preyed on the mistakes of others and came away there with a second place. But yeah, that was good from Wosile there. Just getting a round win, and finally Richie comes somewhere that isn't first or second. He has the
Will
third place.
pick up the
He
third.
is human. He is human.
Well,
After
okay,
all,
hear me
apparently.
out. It was deliberate because he just wanted to get his score back to a nice round number, and they will pick up 2 wins in a row and then win the match.
Yeah, 2 wins in a row, win the last round, fine. Of course, if people in chat who first time watching Trackmania have no idea how this works, the points limit is 100. Once you get to 100 points, you go into finalist mode, and then you must win a round.
Yeah.
So you win a round and you don't get any more points, but then you win in that position. So, and then I think the points rep will shift so that obviously there's only 3 players, so it'll be 10-6-4, and then there won't be any need for 2 players because those 2 players will unfortunately be eliminated as Boz gets a small clip here. Richie and Wosile are neck and neck going into the last half pipe jump. Richie gets a lower jump. The ghosts are literally in danger. It's going to be so close as Wosile barely wins by 0.02 of a second, as well as driving 0.2 quicker than he did the last round. So that was an up in the pace there. Maybe first round cider lap, second round. Okay, let's go.
And it's important for Wosile that he's picked up 2 wins now. The gap back to Boz with 20 points across 2 rounds from Wosile has exploded up to a 15-point gap from a 5-point gap. So Boz needs a very good round here. I would potentially go so far as to say Boz maybe needs a win in this round or the next to kind of start to close that gap back again, because we are getting very much towards the back half of this match. And Boz has had a little bit of a mistake on the quarter pipe jump there, just jumping a little too close to it, losing a lot of speed. He's now down by 7/10 as Wosile and Richie once again go off into the future. If he can't win the round, at the very least, Boz is now cheering on Richie, hoping that he can deny another 10 points from Wosile, but that's scary from Richie. He has survived, but he's all over the track just there. Honestly, I thought he was in a wall about 3 times through that passage.
Yeah, that was not safe or clean. It was risky, and he got through though. And once again, just showing how much more practiced and maybe how much more he knows the maps with that line there to get mushy. Don't hit the ring. It did look like it though, didn't it? Oh no.
Oh no. Oh
a
dear.
DNF wouldn't be good, and he will be DNFing because he will not have enough time.
6 points in favor of Wosile. The gap extends to 21 as Richie is now just 4 points off of finalist mode. Back to Wosile. The gap is a little bit bigger, but Wosile definitely in prime position to be the player to get to finalist mode next. In this, as has been described by Thomas in chat, reverse cup mode.
Reverse cup mode. Yeah, I gotta love it. As Boz after that DNF now really does need to win. Like absolutely.
Yeah.
Must
Necessary.
win here for Boz, and he is not in first. He was in first. Took a slightly different line on the grass there and lost some time. But this is really kind of he needs to win, or at least beat Wosile, or Wosile needs to make a mistake. Like Boz needs to start catching up his points here. Otherwise, he's just going to run out of time in the track. Because yeah, you can win 10 rounds in a row, but it's hard.
It is.
Yeah, Richie gets a slight lower jump and unfortunately overtake Boz, but he got Wosile, so that was at bare minimum, I suppose, what he needed to do.
I mean, by 800ths there, Boz loses out to Richie. The best time Boz drove, and up until that point, I think the best time anyone except Richie had driven on the map, and then Richie just went nearly a 10th quicker anyway, which is tough. That was a round that Boz would have loved to win, maybe needed to win, as the points gap continues to kind of be a little bit scary between Boz and Wosile at the moment. But he is still in it. I mean, everyone is still in it in a cup match right up until they're actually locked in. But Richie is the most in it of anyone, the only player on finalist mode at the moment, and a 30-point buffer. Excuse me. as my voice attempts to give out on me.
Speaking of finalist mode, our other player who will be following Epos has just entered finalist mode in his match. So he is the first player to do so there, as they are also going onto a new map. So Epos is getting along quite well, as they're going to go onto sublimation now, as we're going to go onto half-wood, which in the TA we were talking about Boz on mouse playing wood. He should be fine, right?
You'd hope so. Richie probably the most fine, and I suppose we'll see at the end of this first round. Does Boz want Richie to immediately leave and start leaving first places up for grabs? Right now, it doesn't necessarily feel like it, right? Because Wosile is looking very, very quick. So maybe you're hoping that Richie sticks around a little while. There's a big crash from Wosile there through one of the precision sections, not able to keep the car on track and immediately punish forward. Boz looking to pick up a second place, as Richie would pick up the win if things stay as they are, and he will be the first player out of this match, heading around the final few corners. Only a short amount of track left to go, and Richie's looking very, very good to take this one home.
Yeah, absolutely. As they go into this last kind of risky transition clip, if you jump too far, you can clip us. Boz has more speed, but won't quite catch up. And Richie has won the match and can now put his feet up and watch from afar, as he will learn his fate when the remainder of the matches have concluded. But there's still another spot to decide, Nua. We still have to see which of Wosile, Boz, or Nicsoby will go through.
And we'll figure out how does the points repartition change. Is it just the fourth place is lopped off, or does it reshuffle a little bit after this round?
Should be that the fourth place is just lopped off, so it'll be just 10-6-4.
I think
very easy.
I had reliable information that this was the case, but we'll find out, won't we? That's the beauty of it. In about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, we'll know. As Boz now needs to deny Wosile, especially with Richie being out of the match. Boz 100% needs to win most rounds from here on out to give himself a chance of getting back into it. And he hasn't started the worst here, but he is behind Wosile as the track continues and they go into this dirt section before the wood at the end. He's gonna have to hope for a mistake. It is clean. He is catching, but he is gonna have to hope for a mistake. As here we go now. As that looked like a clip for Wosile. He jumped super inside and kind of gripped weird with his tires. And yeah, Wosile winning the round there, putting himself on 86 points. Boz only on 65. So he Boz needs to step it up a little bit here and really try and just win from here on out.
Look, if we assume that Nicsoby is probably going to be taking third places from here on out, I do think, without properly doing the maths out in my head, that Boz basically, if he wins the next 3 rounds, is still not quite on finalist, and Wosile in second place would still be he would be on finalist as well. He would be on finalist then. So Boz, he's in that position. He needs to win rounds, is basically what that boils down to. And even if he continues to win rounds from here on out, it's still possibly not even going to be enough, because Wosile will almost definitely hit finalist first.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, especially when you do something like that and make a mistake and allow both players to overtake you. And yeah, Boz needs to just, needs to keep it clean for one and drive the map as best he can, but also really does need to be winning rounds, like from now, even from a few rounds ago. He needed to, but he's gonna have to hope for a mistake here as they go into the last wood precision section. And no mistake from Nicsoby, but not enough to catch up. That speed, the closure speed on wood, is always what gets me. It is ridiculous when someone makes a mistake and you see just how much quicker you are. It could be like 200 speed difference. It's insane.
Neck breaking as you whip around those corners. Wosile is guaranteed finalist as long as he finishes this round. Only 4 points away from it at the moment, and it is 4 points guaranteed at minimum if you finish in third place. So no massive mistakes from Wosile, and he'll be okay. Boz with a better start is just in front of Wosile at the moment, but we've seen through the middle of the track, I think, is where the big gains have been made for Wosile. A couple of those dirt turns have gone in his favor, so it's up to Boz to try and maybe rewrite history a little bit here, change things up in a different approach, possibly, but always hard to do on the fly as well, is relearn lines in rounds.
As he does lose a little bit in that midsection there, and is now okay.
Well, hey,
I mean, not that it matters, but it is going to be 10 points for Boz, which is the main thing, right? It's 4 points gained over what Wosile was previously letting him have, I suppose. And Now, so long as he doesn't do a big boo-boo on that transition and just safe, nice and safe all the way to the end, good job. Not the quickest time, but did what needed to be done to get himself into first place. And now he needs to win. Him or Nicsoby need to win every round from
Pretty much,
here
yeah.
on out.
They need to
And
deny Wosile for at least 3 rounds for Boz's sake, because he is 21 points off of finalist, which is a very uncomfortable number to be away.
yeah, that's an unfortunate number to say the least. Yeah, as we go on to Cadence, which is a full speed type map. There's a large
Yep.
portion of full speed in it, and a world record by a full speed player that we all know, Josh 1248, as he makes our producer's life hell regularly with track of the day renders for world records. Some information, sorry, just before we get into this one, Epos has won his matchup with Melio coming second, which means unfortunately the other players in that match have been eliminated, but Epos gets through in first place, so he will be continuing. And now it remains to see if hopefully Boz will.
Yep, at least one Blue Jays player to follow into the round of 32. It's not looking great for Boz, for being totally honest, especially given the start of this map is full speed and Wosile has gotten the speed a little bit quicker. That tends to snowball pretty aggressively in full speed maps, and it is snowballing a little bit here as well. The gap extending to 0.2 of a second between the two players. Luckily, not an entirely full speed map. There are some dirt turns. There is a little bit more to go, so there is a chance to catch, and Boz is catching Wosile right now. The gap cut down from 0.2 to 1.5 and overtaken as Wosile is sloppy through the chicane there. Boz into first place has the lead by just over 0.3 of a second. And as the track starts to disappear, as we start to eat through the rest of these corners, Boz continuing to hold that lead. There's a little bit more wood to go at the end here. But other than that, there shouldn't be any major problems for Boz between here and the end of the track. Well,
No!
Well, there's a major problem. He's hit
problem.
the wall.
And that's a major, major problem, as
Yeah.
that is the end of this match. And Wosile has, yeah, that was. I'm kind of shocked. I didn't expect it.
It
It's a dirt
sometimes just
turn.
happens like that. It is a little bit of a tough dirt turn with the wood leading into it. Lining yourself up properly to hit that dirt turn at full speed can be tough, but when you have a gap of 0.3, it's rare that you see Boz make a mistake like that, right? That, you know, he doesn't give himself the leeway to take it maybe a little bit suboptimally, but still hold on to the lead. The mistake was made. Wosile takes second place in the match, and that's all she wrote. Unfortunately, Boz eliminated in the round of 64. We said from the beginning, it's a stacked 64, but maybe a little bit disappointing there for Boz Bez. Epos, though, doing great.
Yep, Epos did pretty well, but yeah, that's disappointing from Boz there. I just didn't. That was like I didn't even expect it in the slightest.
No.
I kind of like I think I actually kind of screamed a little bit. Apologies to everyone's ears there, but yeah, that was wow. I did not expect that. I really did not expect that, but that's just the way it goes. And he did get himself in the top 64, so he will earn some World Tour points. I'm not exactly sure on the number. It's probably fairly low down, ahead of the 1,000 that he'll get for winning. But yeah, I'm not not
Would you
sure
like to know how many points he got?
Is it like 1?
It is literally 1 point. But hey, if you make it into the right, well, no, sorry, that I think. In theory, if you come 33rd to 48th, you get 5 points, and Boz was ahead at the end there, so he may have picked up 5 points.
He got 5 points.
5 times as many. That's a 400% increase.
It is. Is it not 5? No, we're not doing maths. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. I'm not exposing myself. But anyway, yeah. So unfortunately, Boz will be leaving us, which means now we'll have no choice but to follow Epos
Hey,
for the rest of the day.
there are worst forced choices to be forced into in this world than having to watch Epos.
I'm so ready to watch that guy drive around the tracks. He's a joy to watch, just the way he plays and all stuff like that. But probably throw it to a quick break for a few minutes so we can figure out who's playing who
and just to stop Twitch chat from commenting on your radio for a little while, OC. We'll be back with the round of 32 very briefly. We'll see you as soon as we get information.